Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's another day and yet another video on this channel. So today is quite a different day. I had promised a part 2 for the exploration of this growth point Jirera. So I really did leave home to come to this growth point today for that purpose. So as soon as I got into this township, I met this girl. She's from my village, a young lady, quite young, quite beautiful, but she left the village mysteriously, let me say mysteriously, and people just didn't know where she was going to or what was happening to her. So this day when I met her, I had to ask, because I was a bit concerned. I had to ask her what is happening in her life and why she just left the village just like that. Then she told me this very, very sad story. So in my country here in Zimbabwe, there are these white garment sect churches. So her family was going to one. She told me when these girls reach a certain age, it's more like the men in this church are given a vision or dreams that they say they come from God himself, that they must marry this girl. She's now of a ripe age to get married, and these girls and their families, they cannot oppose whatever the spirit, like put that in quotation marks, whatever the spirit would have said to them. So this young lady, she was now doing her Form 3, and there was one man already married, already had 2 wives. He was given this vision or this dream from the spirit, and then he came to the family and told them he had this dream or this vision or whatever they call it, that he must marry this girl. Like she just had to leave school and get married. Unfortunately, the parents agreed to this, and she was supposed to marry off. So she tells me one day she just went to school, and like usual, she didn't like she always goes to school every day, but in her heart she didn't want to get married to this man. So what happened? She ran away. She only had her uniform and her books in her school bag, so she ran away from home. When she ran away, she went to the city. I won't mention details here because there are people from my village who are here on this channel, so they'll know what really happened. So she went to this city where there was one relative there, and the relative, unfortunately, she didn't have any money to send this girl to school, because in the city the schools are a bit expensive than the ones in the village. So the relative could send the baby back home. So she said, no, you can stay here and we can see what we can do, if I'll be able to send you to school or not, but you cannot get married. The issue of marriage was out of the question with this relative. So the young girl stayed with this relative in the city, and she did not go to school for the past 5 years. You can imagine. And now she is not in the village, she's staying here in the township, where she is working as a housemaid. Very intelligent, promising young lady, had her life cut out just like that. So she hasn't been back to the village, and the people, like her family in the village, they really don't know as yet that she is here in Jerera in the township, and that she is working. And I bet the moment that they know, they are going to come for her, because they are so tied to their religion, and the girl just has to get married to that man. I don't know how many wives that man has like now, because by that time he had two, and they don't stop marrying. These people can marry about 5 6 like wives. So this is the story that is here. My heart was so broken. I couldn't take like the video. I had to go back home. So these are just some clips that I took some time ago of this growth point that I'm putting here, since I had promised that I was gonna bring you a part 2 of the other part of Jerera, because this township is really growing so big, and but my heart was so broken, and poor me, I had to go back home, and I couldn't bear it. So the young girl is working as a housemaid, and she was so intelligent, and asking her like, so what plan do you have for your life? And she's like, I'm working, saving up some money so that I go back to the city and stay with this relative, even as I do something for myself. I really want to go back to school, but in the city the schools are a bit expensive, so she has to work, save up her money, and go back to school. Then my question comes like, what is really the future of the girl child like, especially here in the villages? Because it seems nobody cares. No one cares. When this girl disappeared, it was just like nobody cared. It was just like, okay, she's gone, maybe she'll come back, or this or that, and the family didn't even bother to look for her. But she was running away with her life. And I was like, it's only that things are not like really in place here in Zimbabwe. Things are really difficult. But if there was an organization which would like build up a shelter like here in the township for this kind of girls, because most of them are marrying off, and nobody cares. No one cares, and no one seems to be following up, or they go to the hospital, they give birth, no police report is being given that a 15-year-old is here in the hospital, they have given birth to this child. This is the reality of the plight of the girl child here in the village, like in Zimbabwe. I don't know how to encrypt her voice because she's soft-spoken, and if I like bring her here speaking, the relatives might just know that it is her, or somebody might just pick it up. If I knew how to encrypt a voice, or else I'll look up on how to encrypt a voice, and I'll have her like tell her own story of like what really happened to her. I was so saddened. It's so sad. And I really didn't know that this thing is still going on. I thought it's the choice of these girls just to get married like to this old man, be the 4th, 5th wife. I didn't know like this is how they're getting married. A 15-year-old is the 5th, is the 6th wife, and just imagine the future of that child. If the husband like passes away today, what is going to happen to our girl child? And she'll be having 3-4 children. Maybe the husband passes away. What is going to happen to these children that she has born? So this is like what is happening here in my village, the plight of the girl child, the plight of the woman, and who is going to be a voice to these voiceless souls. I was so disturbed. I was so disturbed by this story, but the girl is here in the township, and she's planning to work for just a few months, and then she goes back to the city because she wants to pursue her education. And she's now about 19, if I'm not mistaken. She's now 19, and she'll have to go back to Form 3, and in the city she'll be going to private schools. She'll not be going to into the government schools, and in the private schools they have to pay monthly. The plight of the girl child here in my village.